AMS2 just received its V1.5.5 update, which brings in Le Mans, LMDh cars, new GT3 cars, and so much more. So let's get into the sim and show you what it has brought. Well, here we have it, the sim, and if we first go into performance, where the big thing is, I believe it is here. No, okay, that was wrong. Let's go into audio then. Here we have, they've added wall reflections volume and reverb volume for the walls, which I've turned up to 100 because that's what I want. Then let's find it. Where could it be? I'm looking for it with you. Okay, but they have brought in a thing which tells you how many cars. Yeah, here, max visible cars of 12, I think would be good. So this makes it so you have, so it's less strain on the performance. Then let's get into here. You have circuit test 24 Aorus demands. Sorry for my bad French. A Le Mans circuit Bugatti. So let's start here with the Le Mans circuit and let's choose the DPI cars. So let's go here into, where are they? They're down here. Let's start off with the Porsche. Okay. So now we are in the car. Now it should be working. So we're in the Porsche, which is the Porsche 963. And I've been driving this in the beta, and to me it's quite nimble, but has issues on the brakes, as you will be able to see. And let me also talk about the circuit this first lap. So we have this tight hairpin. We want to try and be straight without losing too much for there. Here you have to just keep speed. Here it's a gentle brake. So then you're coming through here. And here it should, if you really push, well, if you tune it correctly and do everything correctly, you can do it flatter. Then here I've noticed something which isn't fully correct. So here, there you see the big bump, which shouldn't be a bump. And I don't know if these are technically legal, should be off limits, off limits for the track or not. So it seems like the brakes on these cars have gotten better since the beta. But this car, it feels, as I said, quite nimble, but still a bit sketchy on the brakes. Because I chose, you will see the next car, the BMW, I thought was my best, but now I have to retry them because they've changed quite a bit since I last drove them all. This corner is quite tricky to get. Because mentally, to me, it feels like that one's, you can brake later, but it just feels a bit odd, that corner. So I have this nice cockpit and everything. Here, you should brake about roughly by the curbs. Try not to brake too late because you will just go off. Because you can't push the brakes super much, a lot. And don't try and brake too early because you will just lose a lot of time. This is also a really tricky corner. So what I do is I like gently get off and instantly after I've turned, try and get on the brakes. So they went okay, I guess. Then now we come into the trickiest part of this circuit, the S's. Why this is tricky is you will be seeing because it's not fully, it's like medium to high speed. So you can push the car, but these cars don't have unlimited downforce, which is a little bit of an issue. Like we're here, and then the last part, like here, can be really tricky to get perfectly to get it correct. And also what I've noticed with the base setup is that the rear tires really like to overheat. That's something you have to think about. But that was one lap in the Porsche, and let's go off what I think is my favorite car. And one thing before we get into here, the record, the time trial for Le Mans, for the LMDh cars at least don't work. We'll have to double check it, but I don't know fully why. I heard from some people they think it's due to the MGU. Okay, the electric engine might change a bit, but we will have to see. I'm going to double check and we will see if that's the issue. But let's get into the car. This should hopefully have my setup on it that I made. It's so complicated. Just the arrow and lowered the car on the radiators to improve braking. Let's see. As you can see, the braking performance is really good. This car is a bit like a boat, but still it is quite nimble. I think the BMW engineers designed it in that way, because this car and the Cadillac are both designed, are made in partnership with Dallara, an Italian company. They based it on their LMP2 chassis, if I recall correctly. So that's why they have a little bit of a similar feeling when driving. Yeah, these straights, there's not a lot to talk about on the straights, but we can talk about maybe a little bit what I'm driving, because because the car speaks for itself a bit, and my driving does, about what I think the future holds. Because if you think about the dev update, which they released, they talked about how next year will be their endurance racing year. What they talked about was how they will add a few American circuits which are staples in endurance racing. So I assume Road Atlanta and Sebring will come. Then they were talking about Latin manufacturers. And since aren't any from Latin America, I assume it's to do with the language, because Latin, obviously everybody should know, is a language not widely used, and it has quite a few languages derived from it, such as Italian, Spanish and French. So Spanish and Portuguese, yeah, Portuguese is also one, if I recall correctly, but those are not fully related because they don't matter as much, because there aren't any cars from those countries which speak those languages. But Italian and French are interesting, because you have Ferrari Lamborghini as the big ones for those countries, but then you also have Isotta Franschini for Italy. So we could be seeing with the Lamborghini and Ferrari, you could see new GTEs, GT3s, and LMDh and LMH cars. But with the Isotta Franschini, it's an LMH car. And also, with French, we can have Alpine and Peugeot, who have made nice LMH cars. And I also have the Peugeot down there, you can see. So, what's the important thing is that also Renata has talked about red hot news. No, that some red hot additions or something in the actual dev update. There's something red hot, and when I see red hot, I think the Ferrari 499p, which to me is very spicy in terms of how it looks. So I'm on a good lap here, but I think it's time to switch over to the boat. So now we're in the Cadillac, which in my opinion has the best sounding engine. You can listen. Be able to hear it when I'm going. It sounds quite nice, but it's even better from if you listen from outside. So this has even better brakes than the BMW and also less oversteer. So this feels a lot like the DPI VR actually, which before these was actually my favorite car in the game. This handles a lot like the DPI, maybe I should go with this actually. Since I didn't spend a lot of time doing setups, that's okay. But then, is there anything more to talk about? It's... Oh, there's some brakes on it. But I have to tune them because what I've noticed, I'm giving you all the tips here, is that if you look down there by the air and track temperature, you can see that my brakes cool off a lot on the straight, and since this has very long straights or sections where you don't use the brake a lot, it's good to close the openings for them. That's something to fit in. And also, the other two cars, if I recall correctly, are turbocharged. And this one isn't. This one's naturally aspirated, which could be another reason for why I like it so much. Since here you see what happens if you overshoot the corner. But since this isn't turbocharged, the torque curve is a lot smoother, and since I really like to get on the throttle quite hard during exits, it fits my driving style a lot better. That's why I like the Porsche in the GT3s the most. That's a little sneak peek. See, this is the easiest for people who don't like on-throttle oversteer. Still, I think you can use the brake a lot to control this. I mean, I like a bit these type of cars. They're a bit fun to drive, except that they can be quite understeery, which isn't always fun. Delicate and steering. precise, do some precise movements in it. This one also revs very high. So these were the LMDh cars. Maybe it's time to switch over to the Bugatti layout and also switch over to the GT3 Gen 2s. Okay, so now we're on arguably the trickier version of this circuit, which is the Bugatti one. Now we're in the McLaren 720S Evo, which is a really nice car. Also has a little monitor or screen there. So this is the same as in the Le Mans layout, the 24-hour layout, but after this crest is where everything changes. I've struggled quite a bit to try and get that perfectly, since there are no like braking markers or something. This long sweeping corner, the exit is really important for this straight, and there you're coming to the most awkward corner on the circuit in my opinion, because you go on the throttle early but you can't. A double apex is quite awkward. Get into here, we have this sort of medium speed corner where you think you can take a lot of speed, but then it just tightens up on you like that. But here this last sector is really nice. You have this banked corner into a less banked corner, then we get into this hairpin. And out again. So that was a lap of that circuit, and I can just this lap put comments on the car. So it has, I think it's mid-engine. Obviously it has good braking performances, it has PC, but it is quite oversteering. Really patient to get a good exit. Try and maximize the exit if you do. There you can see. I gained a lot of time because I took a late apex so I could get on the throttle earlier. So take a lot of speed and then out. I lost quite a bit of time, I think. Yeah, it seems so. There I will have lost quite a bit of time and that invalidated. Yeah, this car is quite nice. Not my favorite, but not the worst. Now I get to drive my favorite of the GT3 Gen 2s. Since it is really stable, but also it's just very good in my opinion on everything. Brake performance might be a bit worse. You saw that the weight transfer might not be the best, but it deals with my flat foot really well. I just like how it handles. If you don't have a dashboard like me, this car has a huge display, which you can see there. I just like to have this own uniform one, so I know everything for every car. So it's the same. You can see there it doesn't have a lot of oversteer. Usually when you try and push a bit too hard, you get oversteer. But during normal race driving, it shouldn't be an issue. That's something I've started to try to shift through there, but I don't know how well that works. See there, you can really get some nice movement with it. This car. If I just finish this lap, then we'll move on to the two front-engined cars of this class. Quite a bit of time for those, so I could maybe take that a bit quicker. Try to maximize that one a bit too much. So this can be drifted if you want. Now we're done with this car, let's move over to the next one. Now we get into the AMG GT3 even, which is from my favorite manufacturer, which you might know. The clothes I've been wearing, and also from who I support, I've talked to about. But this car I don't like so much when driving because it is front engine. It's more mid engined actually. It is a bit easier on oversteer. So it's a bit like the Porsche, but still it just feels heavy, which is what I don't like about this car. So the Porsche, due to it being rear engine, doesn't feel as heavy since the front axle doesn't get as much weight. But still this weight distribution is more to the rear, which to me just seems very odd. Very nice, but it's really easy to break traction. That was a nice lap. Okay, invalidated. Let's go to the last car. And let's go to the BMW. Now we are in the BMW, which is, in my opinion, I don't know how to say it, but it isn't like... It's a boat with a lot of oversteer. I don't know if this is how the Cadillac felt when driving. As in the Cadillac in ACC. But it is a boat with good brakes. That was quite a nice corner actually. Let's see, can I go? It goes quite well through there. It's a boat. That's the big issue with this car. So there's a cruise liner. That was quite a nice corner. I don't know if that was quicker than my other laps, but still it was quite a nice lap. So if you want to drive these front engine cars, you probably want to turn down the FFD strength. And you want to be proper delicate on the throttle. I gained a lot of time for that. Just try and accelerate and push through the corner. It didn't go so well this time though. There, hopefully it went well. Yes, it went well. Now let's see for this corner. The track limits a bit too much. So that was not a good end to the track, but you could clearly see this car has potential. So those were the cars. And what do we think? Well, Bias starts now. Le Mans is my favorite circuit in the sim and in the world. LMDh cars are my favorite cars in the sim and probably to drive in of all of them. So, I really love the LMDh cars. I used to really like the BMW, but now with a few adjustments, the Cadillac seems really nice and also has a good engine sound. So that will be what I opt for. Then the GT3s, I'm not so sure which one's actually my favorite because the boat seems a bit better. Whilst the Porsche is more nimble, the boat seems good, so I'm a bit unsure which one's my favorite actually of those. It seems like my taste for cars, as in driving, are boats. Because I don't really remember. Yeah, it's very odd. But what do you think? Comment it down below. Whilst you're down there, please hit the like button and also subscribe. I just remembered the Bugatti circuit isn't as good in my opinion. My next video will, what will it be on? Well, we'll see, because I might do comparisons with Le Mans, I might do comparisons with different generations of Le Mans cars, or I might compare them with the mods. We'll have to see, but until then, I've been Reiza Legend. You've been my amazing first. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.